Hi, and welcome to another Fireside Chat. We are here again today with a number of people from the PMFRC team, and we're talking about a program that has existed in the PMFRC a lot, but we don't necessarily talk about it as much. We haven't been talking about it as much over the last couple of years, so we wanted to bring it back to the forefront, tell you a little bit more about it and how maybe you can get involved. We're talking about the Private Home Daycare program, which is a program at the PMFRC. In addition to our children on board, a really important part of the program are the providers that are part of the program and who look after these precious little ones during the day. So before we go on and talk about the program, what I just want to remind everybody is that we're having an information session on the 17th of this month. There's two of them, one in the afternoon and one in the evening, to talk more about private home daycare. So we're just going to kind of scratch the surface today with our discussion. But if there is information that you need, if you want to learn more, if you want to get involved, you can sign up for either one of those sessions. As soon as we're done, I'm going to put the link below in the comments so you can register, or you can talk to Angie more about it. Before we start, let's just do a quick roundtable. I'll let you know who we have. Angie Dabaroji is our emergency family child care coordinator. Sue LeClaire is our Children's Services Manager, and Claudia Beswick, our Executive Director. So thank you all ladies for joining us. Claudia, we always start with you. Talk to me about business resumption. How's it going?
So we are opening up. Staff are coming back into work full time, and we continue to provide a wide variety of services to the whole community. One-on-one, in-person services have returned, although our workshops and activities, that stuff is still limited. So right now, Play Troop's the only one where we're doing a group activity, but we'll see how it goes moving forward. I do want to talk a little bit about some of the programs that we're offering at the various levels of service that are available. And this would be to the military and veteran community at Garrison Petawawa. So what we're calling our level 1 services really is about information and awareness. And I bring this up because it is active posting season, and we do or may have new families that are moving in or out of the community. So really the team is just making sure that families are welcomed and they're provided with general information and are aware of how to access resources, what the services are, what supports are available. Even if it's not from the MFRC, it could be in the community. So you can connect with our information services team and they'll be happy to assist families. Remember, they're the ones that are also doing your in and out clearances. That's a really good place to start as the new families try to navigate the new community. And if there is anyone out there that is posting out this summer, then we have this wonderful relocation kit. I think Julie's going to demonstrate it there. So if you're moving out, come visit us. All you just need is a screenshot of your posting message, and they'll be happy to give that to you guys. It's a really great tool. Our second level of service is about navigational support, and that service assists families. So if you're dealing with anything specific related to military challenges, whether it's relocating to or from Petawawa, absences, training, deployments, exercise, or transitioning into the community or leaving the CAF community altogether, then our family navigators will support the family with individualized navigational support, especially with things like special needs, parenting support, deployments, or Francophone families. That's not the only things that we can help you with. Just give us a call if you need any additional support. And I do believe we're going to do a fireside chat and introduce the navigators to the community, and that should be coming up sooner rather than later. Third level of support is really specific to providing services and access to our mental health team. So anyone needing crisis support, referrals, or other community resources or counseling services, adults, couples, family, children. We have a youth counselor as well. And it also includes facilitating access to the Emergency Family Care Assistance Program, which Angie is here, and she's the one that oversees that program as well. So we take a very family-centric approach to our services. I would just encourage any family that needs to reach out or has support, reach out if you have questions. And we'd be more than happy to do what we can do to support you. And don't forget, information can be found on the CAF Connection website.
In terms of the mental health team, if you join us every week for Fireside Chat, and why wouldn't you? Last week we met the mental health provider. So I'll put a link down there so you can go back if you did happen to miss it. It's a good opportunity to put some names to the faces and find out more about those services. Sue, I'm going to kick out with you. Before we go ahead, let's just talk about what the private home daycare program is. Like, why is it different than the other programs that we have, and who are the families that it would serve?
So the childcare system that PMFRC offers consists of a range of services for families and their children, including licensed center-based childcare like Little Troopers North and Little Troopers South, and our licensed home care, so our home care providers. Our goal is for families to have a variety of childcare options that meet the unique needs of our military families and the families within our community. So a vital part of the programs we offer is our licensed private home daycare program. It offers care for a wide range of children's ages from 6 weeks to 12 years. So it's also an opportunity to have siblings together during care. And this is important for some families to keep their siblings together. So it's a really great program. Like childcare centers, homes are licensed and they follow the same legislative framework as centered-based care. The care provider, home-based, develops a great learning environment that's, family-centered and nurturing for the children while meeting all the same requirements as the Child Care Early Years Act, which daycare centers are required to meet. So families can have that small group that's built a foundation on developing relationships with the safety net of having the PMFRC as a licensed agency, monitoring licensing requirements and compliance, and supporting the care provider with their professional growth and around program quality. So as an example, I've worked in really centered-based care for most of my career. And when I had to go back to work, I was posted in Kingston, and I was fortunate enough to be accepted within a centered-based program and a licensed home. But I had to go back to work when my son was 9 months old. And although both programs were great and, had a lot of, amazing programming, I chose licensed private home because at that time I just found my son was too young for group care. I chose to have him in a family care setting. It just made me feel safe that he spent the day with a nurturing, loving family. And it really is family care because they interact with all the children and family members in that home. And it also gave him the opportunity to be with children a little bit older. In that home, he was the only infant. So we had that kind of older sibling environment to grow and develop in. So I think it's really important for families to have that type of choice of care that they want for their children, because families, for a variety of reasons, want all types of different kinds of care. And it could be for a variety of reasons. So for me, it was my son's age. It could be the hours you work, where you live, or even what's available in the area.
Thank you. You talk about those nurturing, loving homes. So obviously the core of that program is finding those folks who are willing to open their homes. So you're opening your home, but you're also at the same time starting a business, which is a pretty big step. Angie, can you talk to us a little bit about who can be a provider and what are the benefits of starting this type of business in your house?
Sure. So you don't have to be a registered ECE, early childhood educator. If you are, that's wonderful. But we do ask that you have some type of experience, obviously working with children. You do work out of your home, so that's an added bonus. If you have children of your own at home, you get to stay home with them. We assist in finding clients, so we have wait lists we can pull from and set everything up for you to have interviews and make those connections with families. You get to set your own daytime hours because we only operate during the day. So basically around, the military timings and some of our civilian families. You can claim certain things on your income tax because you are operating a business out of your home. And you will establish a good network of people. So, there's myself, other caregivers, different, as Sue was mentioning, like different PD opportunities, stuff like that. So you will have lots of support. There's also additional government incentives that you can access when you're licensed, as well as monthly food allowances to help with providing those healthy meals to the children. And then we also have some quarterly grants that are available to our providers as well. Our area is specific to Petawawa, Deep River, and Chalk River. So that's who we can service. And as Sue had mentioned, the PMFRC does hold the license. So each each home is licensed under our license, and you do have like a little green sign that goes in your window to identify you that you are licensed, and we monitor and all that kind of stuff.
Thank you. Sue, when you're talking about private home daycare providers, you've got a lot of options. Some people have private home daycares in their home that they operate on their own. What would be the benefit? How does the PMFRC support the private home daycare operators that work as part of this program?
So as the PMFRC, we're the license agency. So we're responsible for a few things. So we're responsible for recruiting and monitoring home childcare providers. So this includes assisting finding families that would be a good match for the care provider. We really have to remember that these children are going into someone's home. So it's important that they find that good connection and that fit so that we can, facilitate the conversation in regards to what are parenting styles, what are your expectations, what's your understanding of the military lifestyle. And we found really amazing fits, and then sometimes we have to switch it up because we all have all kinds of stressors in our lives. So we're really there to kind of, bridge that gap and help make those connections between the care provider and the family. We take the lead with finances and personnel administration such as childcare records, health and fire inspections. So the care provider's main goal is to really focus on the children. The home visitor supports the routine of the daily activities. This also includes supporting things like sleep time routines, different menus, allergies, medical needs of children, and really helping with those, unique identifiers of each child and family. So as Angie said, we also ensure that, we have a vast toy lending library for equipment and toys. And not only do we support with that, but the home visitor can go in and help set up the home. So keeping in mind, this is their home, this is where they live. So after the children go home, like picking equipment that it is either easy to put away and easy to take out, or creating one section of their home where when they, go upstairs or go downstairs or step into the living room, they're back in their home and not in their workplace. So we did talk a little bit about ongoing training and development to support the needs of the care provider and the children they're caring for. And this also includes care provider meetings. So again, doing private home daycare, you're typically the only adult in the home. So sometimes it's nice to be able to build that network with other professionals and like-minded people that, talk about things like circle times, menus, what's working, what's not working, some great fun outdoor activities, and just different ideas that they can kind of bounce off each other. We provide, Angie talked a little bit about meal planning support and nutrition money to set off the cost of food. So we all have been in grocery stores lately and it's a little pricey. So we really support care providers with that, and also developing menus for that whole natural nutritious meal plan. It's really important that the children in our programs get healthy nutritional meals for their growth and development. So the home visitor does check-ins, not only to ensure all regulations are being followed, but sometimes again, not only with the network of other care providers, but with the home visitor, bouncing ideas off each other, asking questions, talking through challenges with someone. So having that opportunity to, talk through a situation with a coworker is so important in any type of childcare, and to remain connected to that network of people that can support each other. It's also an extra safety net for parents. So this home visitor is going in unannounced. So for example, like a centered-based program, we have Little Troopers North, parents will often pop in because they work nearby. So that's that extra security that they can walk into that program and see what their children are doing, or if they're doing PT and, running by, they can see their children playing in the playground. So although parents can do that with our private home daycare program as well, they're not always in that close of proximity to be able to do that. So knowing that, our home visitor is going to stop in unannounced and just see how the children are doing, and being able to see how the children are learning and growing on Story Park is just that other safety net for parents to feel comfortable having their children in a private home daycare program.
Thank you. When people think about a private home daycare, they think about the kids, they think about having the kids in their home and all the things that were involved. But the more I listen to you, the more I realize there's so much more that goes on behind the scenes that's got to be done before this kind of business like this opens. Angie, can you tell us a little bit more about what kinds of things are required? How do you get set up and how long does that process take?
So to begin the process, we typically have a phone conversation just kind of talking about what's all involved. To get started, we do police checks on the caregiver, spouse, and anyone in the home over the age of 18, as well as Family Children Services background checks. So sometimes those take a bit of time, so that's sometimes our holdup. We also require a letter of good health and immunization records, including the COVID vaccine, for all members of the household. So that's just to maintain that everybody in the home is, safe and healthy and keep our little ones healthy as well. And they also need childcare liability insurance. So that's stuff that they can, go ahead and call to see how many they're insured for, that type of thing, but they do require that as well. And then, like Sue mentioned, we have inspections that have to go in, so fire inspection and the health inspection. So all that has to be done before we can open a home. So again, depending on the time frame of some of those things, if everything runs smoothly and goes as planned and people have a family doctor, that kind of thing, we're looking at about a month, but it really depends. That's, ideally what time frame we're working with, but it can take a little bit longer. So anything we can do to speed up the process, we will, but sometimes things do take a little longer.
Thank you. In a COVID world, it's been a long time since anything in my life has gone totally smoothly and exactly as expected. So it's nice to know sort of like that there's a range there. We're going over these things really quickly, these requirements, but if someone wants to talk to you a little bit more and find out what do you mean about insurance and, what do you mean about how many kids I have versus how many kids I can bring in, you're having this information session. It's an opportunity for people to ask really more specific questions. Do you want to talk a little bit more about what you're planning for that session on the 17th and who should attend?
Sure. So I'll get more in depth into some of the guidelines and policies, that kind of thing. Same with the regulations, like how many can a licensed provider have as opposed to a private home daycare provider. And then even I have some like pictures to kind of give you an idea how people have set up their homes. So like how a PMQ could be set up, how a basement of a home can be set up, how a living room, because people get very creative in what they can do. And as Sue said, we can brainstorm and work together to set things up. So I'll walk through that kind of stuff and just kind of give them a general idea of what it will look like. And that usually sparks questions from them as well, just to kind of see, if it's a good fit for them or if not. And so I'll cover the basic information, and then all my information will be available to contact me directly, and we can set up those, the first visit where I can bring the policies and procedures. They show me their home, where they plan to use, that kind of thing. And then we can talk a little more in detail once they have the basic information on how it is and looks like to run a private home daycare under our license. I believe, Jules, you're putting the link below as well, just to for that info session. So as you mentioned, there is going to be one at 1 o'clock and one at 6 o'clock, just trying to meet the needs of anyone that is interested in getting more information. So for sure, if you're interested in attending, go on the link, bring all your questions that you might have, and we'll go through everything. And hopefully, you'll be part of my team soon.
And it's really all about fact finding at this point. So like, there's no obligation if you sign up for this session, you don't have to sort of make any commitments. If you are in Shiloh right now and you're being posted to Petawawa in August and you want to ask these questions now, this is an opportunity for you to do a little bit of that digging ahead of time. If you've got a career change coming and it's going to be a couple of months, you can still sign up now and ask those questions. At least you have the information you need. So when you're making the decision later, it makes it a little bit interesting. So there's no restrictions to signing up. If you just want to get more information, go ahead and do that. We're also going to put Angie's contact information underneath. So if you are not able to come to that session, you may have something else going on that evening, that afternoon. Angie and her team have so many, all the ins and outs of this process and what's involved. So they're really an invaluable resource for anyone who's thinking about doing this. Claudia, it is no secret to those military families who are watching today that childcare and finding the right childcare is really It's a big concern for military families, specifically if you're in a new community, you don't know anybody, finding that that piece is tough. How does the PMFRC support families who are trying to navigate that childcare piece?
Well, just generally, I'll just reiterate what Sue said. You know, our daycare programs are all licensed with the Ministry of Education. And in addition to that, the PMFRC is accredited with commendation from Accreditation Canada. So really what that means is there are a lot of specific standards that we must meet to make sure that we emphasize quality in the programs, ensure transparency and accountability in everything that we do. So with the ministry guidelines, with our accreditation standards, we constantly have safety in the forefront for both children and staff for all aspects, whether it's daycare or regular MFRC programming. Fundamentally, families are important to us, and we know that each family's childcare requirements are different. And that's why we're really proud to say that we have a diverse and inclusive collection of daycare programs. I believe our programs have a really great reputation for quality care and staff who have a unique, an understanding of the unique experiences of the military life. So we have our 2 full-time programs with Little Troopers North and Little Troopers South. Sue and Angie have shared the diversity and the flexibility of the private home daycare program. We have our specialized care program, and what stands this program apart from our other licensed care programs is the flexibility that it offers to CAF families. So a CAF family can access this service for various appointments, mental health breaks, if your family care plan fails, or if you're new to the community and you need childcare for your unpack, unload dates. Same if you're leaving Petawawa and you have your pack load dates. This is what specialized care is there for. A lot of flexibility with both hourly and daily rates available for the service. Because staff are familiar with the unique military lifestyle challenges, we really make an effort to celebrate those occasions, like Month of the Military Child. Like a couple of weeks ago, we celebrated Teal Up Day. And each of our licensed programs offers Parents Story Park, which is a really great tool. I knew nothing about it until Sue came to me and said, we'd like to have this in all of our programs. And it really makes it easy for the parents to stay connected and informed with their child in the program, as well as the educators working with their child. So it's really information at their fingertips. And what makes this really special is that families who are not posted near their immediate families, like grandparents, they can be added to the family's profile to share in the child's experience. And we all know Petawawa has a lot of members away, either training or deployments, and Story Park allows the member who is away to also stay connected to their child or children in care if there's more than one. We've heard many stories of how this resource has really kept our CAF families connected. And I'm going to put Sue on the spot. I didn't give her a heads up on this, but she shared a Story Park story on Teal Up Day when we did that Fireside Chat. Sue, can you just share that story, if you remember which one it was, because I think it really drives home how we're really unique in supporting the families.
So there was a few stories that day. So the one where the mom was deployed and dad was bringing the little guy in to Little Troopers South, and the little guy was really giving dad a run for his money because, you know, it wasn't the routine, and mom sat him in this cubby and mom did it this way. And so the educator in that room decided to reach out to mom, who was on Story Park, and mom would send a video every day. So when the little guy would come in, he would, the educator would hand him the tablet and he would sit on, there was a rocking chair in the room, and sit on the rocking chair. And his mom would wish him good morning and to have a great day. And she would also read what he did the night before and make comments on it. So that really helped the transition into getting this little guy into care. So he would sit on the rocking chair. He would say good morning to his mom. He'd have a little, watch the video, have a little conversation with her, hug the tablet, hand the tablet off to the educator. When the video was done, she would put it up. and he would just go on with his day. And it just made life a lot easier for dad, because nobody wants to drop their child off, when they're upset and frustrated. And now he's got to go to work for the day knowing he left his little one crying. And so it just helped soothe that transition and made dad feel better, the little guy feel better, and really connected mom to it as well. So, and they were, so she would even share things in the video about comments dad would have made. So it was really helped that family stay connected and really ease that separation anxiety for the child.
That story makes me teary every time I hear it. And it's not my first time hearing it.
And I think that really summarizes why, our daycare programs are a little bit more unique, because we have that in-depth understanding and can better support the families in unique ways. And Story Park has been a great tool for that. And I would just encourage families that if they're looking at options for childcare, I know we have wait lists, that's not a secret, but our team would really be happy to work with the families to discuss what options are available for our programs, and not just our daycare programs, but also programs within the community. That's what we're here for. No door is the wrong door. And if you're on a wait list in one of our programs, we can certainly let you know what other resources are available out there.
And you don't have to be here to ask these questions. We all know that there are posting messages floating around, and there are families across Canada that know that they are coming to Petawawa this summer. We can't wait to see you. But it's not too early to make that call to PMFRC and talk to Sue about the programs, talk about the options. Sometimes just that conversation gives you a little bit of peace of mind about, okay, that's one piece that I've handled. There's a lot of other things that people are handling, but that's one piece that you can check off your list that you've got that done. Angie, just before we go, quickly, can you just give us the details? It's May the 17th at afternoon test sessions at
1 o'clock and 6 in the evening.
Perfect. So we're going to put that link so you can register. We're also going to put Angie's email address. If you want to give her a shout, you can do that. Thank you everybody for joining us. I really appreciate it. Just a couple of quick notes. Military Family Life, the latest edition of our podcast did drop this morning. So we are available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. We are talking with Christina McFadden about her journey to Canada and joining the family of Canadian military spouses and the challenges and funny stories that she had to share with us. It was a great episode. Also, remember the kits. If you are, if you've got a posting notice, you're in the Petawawa area, if you are heading out, come visit us with that copy of your posting notice. Lots of checklists, lots of things here that's going to sort of make that process run a lot more smoothly. And we can all use a little bit more, run a little more smoothly in our lives. Have a great day. I look forward to seeing you on our next Fireside Chat. Bye.